Today, I'm happy to announce that I am joined by the one and only Mike Craig, now with Jet Ice. Welcome, Mike, to the podcast.
Thanks for having me. Great to be here.
No, it's exciting because this venture is. We'll get into this a little bit, but I had the opportunity. I've worked with you for many years, and I'm glad to introduce you to everybody else that'll get to know you now with Jet Ice. So, with a little bit, why don't you give your background about how you came to this position and what kind of led you to this path of getting to Jet Ice?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, it's been in the industry for over 25 years now, so obviously quite the journey to get there. But I started at a junior rink working with the Kelowna Rockets in the Western Hockey League. That Prospera Place is known. So about a 6,500 seat arena. Group of us there were on the operations team and worked there for a number of years. Got to really kind of get feet wet in the industry there and learned a ton in that building. It was a pretty busy little spot. So I definitely learned a lot there. And then worked actually with Athletica for a little while as a regional sales representative before going to work with the Edmonton Oilers. We moved back to Kelowna after that adventure and kind of really started more independent there, working with starting our own company and working with different leagues and different things like that on event consulting and doing other things and, doing a little bit of work with the NHL as an independent consultant. And then from there, that's when I joined the National Hockey League, working in the hockey operations and facility operations department. So I was there for a good part of 13 plus years before joining Jet Ice really this March. So really looking forward to kind of the next chapter and, kind of meeting everybody out in the industry that way. So that's kind of the short version of it.
That's definitely the short version because, you've had quite a path to get there. And I think it's very interesting, how everyone gets to their career. And I was a big fan of hearing you coming on board, and I'm excited to see what it comes about it because we're going to see a lot of each other. Obviously, we have a lot of trade shows coming up. As you know, you're going to have to live out of a suitcase a little bit. Does that interest you at all, or things like that of the trade shows and meeting new people and things like that?
You know what I mean? Obviously, working with the National Hockey League, there's a lot of time on the road and traveling from venue to venue. So definitely not only myself, but families familiar with that. So definitely more than okay to be out and traveling and being on the road. And, as far as the trade shows go, I'm really looking forward to, meeting a bunch of new people. One of the benefits of, this transition is really staying in communication with a lot of the different people and connections made over the years. But then also getting to meet a lot of new people in the industry. So really looking forward to getting out there and meeting everybody.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I found when I came on board with Zamboni after being in the NHL as well. You get back to the community rink side and it's great to talk to these people and, instead of dealing in the higher end of things, the community base is where we all started. And it's fun to talk to these guys, the passionate guys of, really want to get to the next step, and it's fun talking to those guys. That's what I found out. So,
and really, it's one of the interests and one of the things of coming on board with Jet Ice is being able to pass on some of that some of those experiences, some of those educational type things, and really kind of teaching and being a resource for a lot of different people. So that's really one of the things that was of interest.
Yeah, for sure. Now that you're with Jet Ice, how do you see us going forward as Zamboni and Jet Ice as a family business now together, and how do you see us integrating each other, the expertise of each other going forward? And we have some ideas, but do you have anything that you're looking forward to by being able to work together with both of us, our companies?
Well, I think kind of everything kind of within the rink industry, obviously it's a small knit community, and and when you're looking at different types of things within facilities or venues, anytime we can collaborate on some different things, especially when it comes to troubleshooting or maybe helping out a venue that's experiencing different some challenges there. I mean, being able to, have both of us jump in and work on some different things is, I think, will be a benefit to a lot of different people there.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I'm looking forward to it for sure. We both work for industry leader companies that are, respected across the industry. But I know a lot about Jet Ice Paint, but why do people choose Jet Ice Paint in the leader? Like, I think I mean, it's the best I've used, but what do you think about it?
Well, I think kind of just really what you touched on there. I mean, ever since I started, in the industry, over 25 years ago, I mean, it's the product that we've settled on within our group and has, always been kind of the superior product. And then, as far as the actual, white paint and the application, and then what's been interesting over the years is really to see the evolution of, painting the Ice logos. Nothing really beats the paint, but the advancement of the technologies of the Ice graphics, and just to kind of see how that has progressed, and really to kind of see the advancement there has really been impressive and good to see.
Yeah, and coming with that, part of your role, I know, is a big part of it is going to be R&D. And can you touch base a little bit about that and not what you're going to get into, but you get to work with the university there, and talk a little bit about it if you could.
Yeah, so really just jumping in. I know that that Jet Ice has entered into a partnership with Toronto Metropolitan University, working on a number of different projects when it comes to water quality and ice quality and those kind of things. So really kind of advancing this next project and this industry. I think getting involved there as far as that research and development and really kind of taking things to a next level is really exciting.
Yeah, exactly. You've always kind of had that niche for R&D in your previous world too, that I know you were experimenting with stuff, and I got to help you on things like that. But yeah, you'll be great at that for sure. Um,
Yeah, thanks.
we're talking about doing some product showcases together between Jet Ice and Zamboni, where we come into a local rink and do things like, showcase your paint products, the textiles, just new ways to do things, or the right way to do things. And we're talking about doing those, and hopefully we'll see those come on board soon. But is that something you're looking forward to and having a chance to be part of?
Yeah, you know what, I am. I was had kind of a new fun experience with R&R Specialties just outside of Minneapolis, where they did something similar, or a little bit of a seminar where they had a number of people from local rinks come in, and I know that we did a little presentation there and did some on ice activities, and went through a number of different items, and then you were there as well, and went through that. And I think it's just another way to have a little bit more kind of an intimate education setting where a number of people can ask the questions and kind of go through those things. And like you said, a little bit of a product showcase, but a little bit of a seminar and teaching as well. So
One of the cool events that we have coming in this year that has, I think it's on year 3 of it, and I think you've attended before, but we're excited to have it in the U.S. in Pennsylvania. I'm sorry, it's close enough to my hometown, Pittsburgh, but it is in our backyard closely. But with Innovation Day, you've been part of it a little bit. We're excited to be part of it. There's a lot of talk about it. What are your thoughts on Innovation Day?
it's great. Yeah, like you said, I mean, we attended, with the National Hockey League last year, Innovation Day in Edmonton. So this year, just you're really looking forward to getting back out there, but obviously in a different role. I think both you and I are scheduled to speak at some point, or host a
Yeah,
role.
we'll battle it out on the stage. Who gets
Yeah,
who gets
something like
who gets
that.
more time?
Yeah, but no, I mean, I was really impressed with the event last year, and really looking forward to the one this year. I mean, being able to see all the different ideas that are there, the sharing of ideas, seeing all the different advancements within the industry, and just kind of seeing kind of where that next phase is heading, and obviously, and you can't stress enough how important the networking is once you're there, right? And sharing ideas and meeting the different people, and kind of going through all that. So, not only are they looking at all the different things at Innovation Day, sustainability, whether you're talking about, how you're making your facility a little bit more profitable. So really just kind of, like I said, the advancement in the industry and seeing it all come together is pretty exciting. So really looking forward to that one.
Yeah, exactly. It should be a great event, and
Yeah,
I'm excited to be part of it too. So,
yeah,
we know each other very well, and for those that don't know Mike or myself, we've been able to be part of a lot of events. Events, I guess not even just events, but uh, things that have happened in our careers together. We've joined on a lot of things, but obviously you were with the NHL during that time. I was with for a majority of it, the Pittsburgh Penguins, and able to do Stanley Cup finals or playoffs multiple times, with playoff or the finals with you in the building, and multiple outdoor games. I know you've done a lot of outdoor games. This was my 24th this year, but we've had a lot of time together, and I'm trying to think any good stories with that. But one has to be my first game was in LA, and when we did the LA game outside in Dodger Stadium, I believe you were stationed in another part of the country, and you guys were not big fans of the crew in LA that time.
Well, that was yeah, there's some pretty funny stories there. I mean, that was really the first time that the NHL was hosting two NHL outdoor games really simultaneously, or the builds were going on at the same time. So that was really kind of the first time that we ended up with split crews. One game was in Los Angeles, the other game was in New York, Yankee Stadium. So I know you were with the crew in LA, and I was in New York. And just to say we're not a fan, it was just very different work environments. We can say that. So while one was, battling the sun and the warm temperatures, we were, battling some different elements and snow and all those kind of things. I know that a little bit of a funny story is that we had to call out there and basically say, hey, you guys need to stop sending us pictures of what you guys are doing, because as you're enjoying the sun a little bit from time to time, we were battling some different elements. But it was good. I know that both games were very successful. Obviously, the one in LA went very well, was very well received. Kind of obviously a warm weather, first time really in a warm weather environment, but you guys nailed it there. And that's really kind of set some things up, really kind of get to the some of the places that we've been able to get to.
Yeah, for sure. And after my 24th game, I still love doing it, and it was a great time to do that. But you're right. When we got the warning, don't send pictures, because the guys are battling 12 inches of snow coming down in an hour, and we're in flip-flops and sitting in the sand volleyball court waiting for the ice to freeze. But just a little bit different environment. But it was a good time.
Really just to touch on that too. Like you said, we've done a lot of these different events and different games together. But obviously it's been a pleasure working with you over the years. But really kind of when you look at those the bigger events and the tentpole events, as they call them, they're pretty spectacular, and it's really an honor to be able to work in those. And I know that we've had the discussions, whether it's throughout the event or before the game, we're as a group pretty focused on every small detail and everything that's going on, and wanting to make sure everything is basically perfect, or as close to perfect as it can be. So as you're kind of focused on that, we've always kind of talked about making sure to enjoy those little moments, or take a little step back and look around and appreciate kind of what we're doing and where we are. And I know that we've been able to do that. And, we've been pretty lucky over the years to be a part of some pretty special things.
Yeah. I know one thing that sticks out with that, and, you say, step back, look at all the work you put in. And what always gets me, and it still does to this day at every outdoor game or anything, when we got to fly over at those events. And I think we've talked about this before. When that flyover happens, it's crazy how emotional it can be. Just leading up to it, the work you put into it, and it's about to flourish right there. And then it's just amazing how it just kind of sets the tone for it. So yeah.
That's interesting you say the flyover too, because that's usually at a spot in the day, in the game, and everything else where everything is set. And there's really not much for us to do. We've dialed in our temperatures, we've done everything. The crew is set with rink side, kind of everything. And there's that little bit of that moment where you're able to really take a step back, and that's definitely one of them.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thanks again, Mike, for joining us today. I know this is our first podcast together. I'm sure it won't be our last. And hopefully next time we can bring in a customer or two, and we'll chat it up with them and share our ideas with them.
That'd be great. Thanks for having me. This has been fantastic. A lot of fun.